The relationship between a banker and customer is the transaction relation. The relation between the two is according to the condition of the customer's account. Banker is only a debtor in respect of customer's money. Banker obligation to maintain the secrecy of the customer's account. Say, hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. I'm Vidhyaashram from the Department of Commerce and Management in Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence. Welcome to all the students for the third session. In this session, I'm going to talk you more about the customer and the banker relationship. So what exactly the customer and the banker relationship should be? Bank without a customer can never run. And all the customers, whoever are there, they need a bank. So both are what? They really need each other. So here, the relationship between a banker and a customer comes into existence when the banker agrees to open an account in the name of the customer. So here, general public, if they go to the bank, right, and they take a form or application to be the customer of the bank, it is the banker who need to approve that they can be the customer or they cannot be the customer. So be very careful here. It is not the customer's choice only. Even it is the banker choice to have you as a customer or not. So that's the reason you should be what? It's not like you will choose and it is only you who will choose. Yes, initially you're going to choose which bank I should be the customer. But after that, it is not done. If you feel that I'll be the customer of SBI, it is not mandatory that SBI should also say yes to you, right? So that is what the relation which you are supposed to maintain. The relationship between a banker and a customer depends on the activities, products, or services provided by the bank to its customer and availed by the customer. Thus, the relationship between a banker and customer is the transaction relation. It is not transformative. It is transaction relations. So both customer and the banker should be good. So here, banker and customer, if you go in deep about it, that is, banker is a person who on the behalf of the bank receives the money and collects checks and drafts. So customer is a person who opens an account in the bank and which the banker accepts with proper information. Without a lack of information, they'll not accept it. So what it should be? It should be a proper information. Proper information is what the banker and the customer is. So 2 marks question. What is a banker? Who is a customer? So banker is a person who is on the behalf of the bank receives the money. See, bank cannot receive the money, right? There should be a person to receive it. So that person is the banker. So relationship between banker and customer, very, very important. The entire chapter deals with this relationship. The first is the relation between the two is according to the condition of the customer's account. Is of debtors and creditors. So there are two, debtors and creditors. Whether the balance in the account is debit or credit. They have their amount or they want to use the bank amount. A banker provides a number of services to the customer and also act as trustee to his customer if the customer hand over the banker with trust work. So they'll definitely help the customers. So relation between a banker and customer may be defined in two things, that is general relation and special relation. See, me or you, if we become the customer of the bank responsibility is what? To be responsible to the customers. So we have two types. One is a general relation, another is what? Special relations. So general relation will go with general things like the primary general relation and subsidiary general relation. So general is divided into two. One is what? Primary. Another is what? Subsidiary. So primary, what happens? The primary general relation arises from a contract between the two, that is a banker and the customer. There should be a contract. So it is contractual relationship. It is governed by the various terms of agreement between two parties. So whether I can take a loan or I can give a loan. So there are two parties. So here nature, if we try to understand this, is nature of primary is banker is only a debtor in respect of customer's money. Customer is only general creditor of the banker. Demand for repayment of deposit is necessary. Customer can demand repayment of deposit whenever he wants. Customer demands for repayment of deposit should be made at proper place. Customer's demand for repayment of deposit should be made on working day. See, you can't go on Sunday and tell. So working day. And during business hours, you can't go after 7 o'clock evening, right? So it is what? These are the relationship, primary relationship. Customers' demand for repayment of deposit should be made in proper form. Even say, banker also you are supposed to make it proper, customer also you are supposed to make it proper. So these are the what? Nature which we are supposed to understand. Now subsidiary, if you go with the subsidiary, what happens is, when a banker accepts valuable and documents from a customer for safe custody, he becomes a bailee. Please understand the word. What is it? Bailee. And the customer becomes a bailer, because here what is it? When a banker accepts, say here we have the customer and here we have the banker. Okay. When a banker accepts valuable and documents from a customer. So the customer gave something, documents or valuables. Okay. So for the safe custody, so I have given jewelry, right? He becomes a bailee and the customer becomes a bailer. So customer, I'm the bailer and he is a banker, right? He is the banker. So he becomes a bailee. So trustee and beneficiary relation is there. Agent and principal relation is there. Mortgage and mortgager relation is there. Guarantor and guarantee relation is there. So all these terms are what? In a different perspective it is used. So that relation we maintain. Now special, I told you about the primary, right? That is a general. Now it is a special feature. What are the special feature or the special relationship? First is the obligation. What type of obligation? Banker obligation to honor his customer's check. That is, any customer who goes with a check, the banker responsibility is what? That is, they need to honor the check. They need to accept the check. When a current account is opened by a banker in the name of customer, there is an obligation on the banker to honor the customer's check as long as there are sufficient funds available in the customer's account for meeting the check. But we should also understand that amount should also be there. Say example, now I've got a check of 1 lakh. Okay, now I'll go to that bank. Say I'll go to SBI bank and I'll say that this is the check, I need 1 lakh. But on whose account the check is, and that person have 99,000. That means what? 1 rupee is insufficient, right? So here they will not honor it. So that should also be there. What is it? We should also maintain what? The customer account for meeting the checks. They should have what? Sufficient fund available. There should be what? Sufficient fund available. Now, I cannot say or they cannot give me only 99,999 rupees. Say 99,000 I said, right? Say example, that customer had 99,999 rupees. Now that 1 rupee shortage, right? So they can't give me that amount also. So please do understand. In the special feature, we have what? Sufficient fund must be available. Fund must be properly applicable by the payment of check. Banker must be duly required to pay the check. There must be no legal bar presenting the payment of check. So these are the things which we are supposed to know. Special feature relationship, the second one, the B1 is banker obligation to maintain the secrecy of the customer's account. Say, if your dad or mom, they go to the bank, and if they ask how much money does my son or daughter have, the banker should not tell. So they should maintain what? Secrecy. That is also a relationship which they are supposed to maintain. So the banker should not disclose to any outsider the detail concerning customer's account. They can't say that this is the amount which your son or daughter have. See, I'm just giving an example of son and daughter, right? So if your parents come, the banker will not tell. So the overdraft, if you go with an overdraft, loan, or any advance granted, the security deposit by the customer against the advance, etc., that should also be taken care. By whom? By your banker. So special feature, if you go with it, the next is when there is an express consent of the customer, when there is an implied consent of the customer, when he is complied by the law of the country, when his own interest requires disclosure, when he is under a public duty to disclose, then what happened? These are the exceptions to banker obligation to observe secrecy. Say when the government of India only orders the banks that you are supposed to give, then it is exceptional. Next is rights. If you go with it, rights to general lien, right to set off or banker right to combine account, banker's right to charge compound interest, banker right to charge incidental charges, banker obligation and rights when a customer account is attached by a grancy order, or banker's right to appropriation. So these are exceptions which you are supposed to understand. So in every aspect, if we go with it, the banker and the customer relationship is a two-way relationship, right? You should be very good with the banker will also should be very good with the customers, and that is how the customer relationship is developed in the banking system. So that's the reason, see, we don't need to wait in a long queue to get anything. So the bank has given a lot of other different services. Why? Because to make that relationship even healthier. So any topic which you have not understood, please do call us. We are always there to help you. Thank you so much. I'll see you when I see you. Thank you.